Okay, good evening YouTube, good evening, welcome to episode 40 of the FPL Family. This is our double game week 25. I was going to call it a review, it's like a checkpoint, isn't it? What was that about?
That was me shooting myself in the head.
Because you've had a really bad game week, haven't you?
Because Aguero... No. Because Pep... dislike.
I think it's fair to say we're both quite bitter and twisted this evening, aren't we? We're both in quite bitter and twisted moods. I'm particularly bitter and twisted with Pep.
I mean, if he makes it better on Tuesday or whenever
Sané gets a hat-trick Tuesday
and Aguero gets benched for Jesus, then I might forgive him. But our relationship, it's on a tightrope.
Do you know there's people on Twitter that have got Sané triple captain, Aguero vice captain. So if Sané doesn't play against Everton, they get the triple on it's like 50 odd points on the line, depending on what. I hate having this. The future of my FPL team in Pep's hands. It's such a difficult thing to do. We said it last week, guys. If you followed us last week on the FPL show, if you saw our live stream this time last week, I think we both said it. You just got to buy a ticket, right? You had to buy a ticket and hope for the best. There was nothing really in the stats. There was nothing really in what Pep was saying in any of his press conferences about who might play or who not, but we all kind of felt like you just needed a piece of that action, right? So people went and got a piece of that action. And fair play if you did Sané and Aguero. Good effort. Very, very good.
Even better if you did Sterling and Aguero.
If you did Sterling and Aguero, even better. So if you went for more than one City asset, of course, that would gives you a problem in 27 you've got to deal with. But goodness me, it would have paid off handsomely if one of those assets was Aguero for today. Goodness me. We shouldn't have doubted him, should we? We shouldn't have doubted him. Aguero has got a double game week pedigree, hasn't he?
It wasn't that we doubted him, was it? It was just that you can't, with the blank coming up so quickly after the double... Given that Chelsea also blank,
we didn't want to go too
you just
heavy
can't go
on
too
Chelsea,
heavy
on Man City. Yeah, totally. It was a tough call. It was a tough call, and I think you just had to buy your ticket and hope for the best. Some guys bought a ticket to the Aguero show, and it paid off handsomely. And some of us bought tickets to Sané. Some bought tickets to Sterling. Didn't go quite as well, guys. So look, I don't think if you've not got Aguero, and neither of us has got Aguero, never mind captain or flipping triple captain, I don't think you should beat yourself up about it. It was one of those things. Somebody was going to bang.
I'm not beating myself up.
No, definitely.
It's Pep.
You're going to beat Pep up. Yeah, beat Pep up. Very good.
Pep's head's on the block, not mine.
So listen, we're bitter and twisted about that, guys. We're bitter and twisted about Son and Spurs.
No, we're not.
We are.
No, we're not.
That was unreal. Unreal, that goal.
What is wrong with you, man? He's a legend. Why did you ever doubt him?
Oh my God.
7 in 7.
Guys,
comes back, bang!
We're going to review the games as ever, guys. We're going to review the games, and we're going to talk about that Spurs game in a bit because,
as the Spurs fans are saying,
oh my
I'll sell my nan for Son.
He was not in that game. He was taking pop shots left, right. He wasn't.
The man's a legend.
You got really high. You need to just bring it down an octave or two. You went very high there. Bit calmer.
I love him.
Bit calmer.
There's nothing not to love about that wee man.
So we're bitter and twisted about Pep. I'm bitter and twisted about Son. And actually, we should be in a good mood, shouldn't we? We should be in a good mood because this morning we went out and we got up at the crack of dawn and went into central London with... It was -3, wasn't it? It was -3. And we did the London Winter Run. Show us your medal. Got 2 of these lovely medals to show you, which we're very, very pleased about. 10k this morning, which is... It's taking its toll on me at the minute. I'm not sure I'm going to make it through match of the day.
I thought you were going to say you're not going to make it through this stream. I was going to say...
I'm not sure we did.
Yeah, make it through
I'm going to do my best to make it through the stream, but match of the day 2 seems like a bit of a long shot, to be honest. But look, we're going to try. We're going to try. We're going to push on through.
They're quite pretty. I mean, they've got the London skyline on there.
They're all good. They're all good. Right, so guys, we're going to crack on.
Now, though. I've had a glass of wine at a kid's party this afternoon.
You've done a 10k and a glass of... You had a glass of wine at a kid's party? What sort of kid's party was that?
I don't know. A brilliant one.
A very good one.
There was wine.
A very good one. Very good. So
there was wine and cake.
Welcome to the live stream. Let us know, as ever, if the graphics and the videos and the sound is all good. I think I've sorted out the borders issue from last week. I did a bit of a test stream after the one we did last week, so I'm hoping that is sorted out, so let us know that that's good. I've noticed the volume seems to be a bit high, so we might just whack that down. We'll just put that down a notch. Let's just put that down to, I don't know, just down a little bit so we don't sort of blow your eardrums off. There we go. That might be a little bit better. So guys, tell us if the graphics are good. Tell us if the screen's good. Tell us if the sound's good. Hopefully it is all good. And John Chappell, who is in, John, he says, #Son is a jammy git. Yes, I'm all good with that.
Hashtag Son is a legend.
I'm all good with that, John. Let's see who else is in. Andrew Yee is here. How are you doing? He's saying thumbs up to the borders. No black borders today. Felix is saying thank you very much, guys. Glad that that's all good. Michelle's saying you're a bit blurry now. Things are okay this end, Michelle, on that front. So might be.
Has Michelle been on the wine as well?
Is Michelle you been on the wine, Michelle? Yeah, that's why it's a bit blurry. Michelle.
Well, I've lost my glasses. If anyone's seen my glasses, send me a tweet.
So you're seeing it as a bit blurry. Michelle's seeing it as a bit blurry. You've been on the wine. Michelle's been on the wine. I'm noticing that there's probably some.
I lost my glasses.
Who knows?
And I don't know where they are.
Who knows? So, guys, we're going to say hello to a few people. We're going to do polls as ever. We're going to look at Game Week 25 in a bit of detail in terms of what's happened so far. Clearly, there's plenty to go, right? We've got the Liverpool game tomorrow night, and then we've got Everton versus Manchester City, which, given the two performances we've seen over the last 48 hours, could be a bit of a bloodbath, actually. Could be a bloodbath. Everton,
let's hope it's a Sané one.
Everton look very, very bad indeed, but we're going to come to that in a bit later on. I actually thought Wolves were very, very good. Wolves looking great, full of FPL assets, but Everton, absolutely not. So, guys, we're going to review that. Plenty to talk about. Loads and loads of incidents to talk about. We've got to talk about Higuain and Hazard and the chemistry those guys have got there. We're going to talk about the game at the Cardiff City Stadium, which obviously was overshadowed by some of the events around Salah, clearly, Emiliano Salah. But goodness me, did Cardiff, play for him that game? They played fantastic well, and Bournemouth did look out of sorts. As well as Palace and their new signing Batshuayi getting an assist against Fulham. So loads to discuss.
Crouchy get an assist?
Crouchy getting an assist.
Go on, Crouch.
He's like 38, isn't he? And he's back in the Premier League getting assists. What a legend.
Let's be honest, he is a legend, isn't he? And did you see that one of their Burnley fans on one of the tall bridges, did you see that sign they put up?
No,
it said, "Welcome to Burnley, Crouchy," and they put this sign above a bridge, and it said, "Please mind your head."
Well, and a high bridge.
And it was like
nice.
over a really
very
high bridge.
Good.
It was quality, yeah. Love it.
So say hello to a few people before we get to polls and all the other good stuff. Toxic Fusion is here. He says, I feel like Charlie Bucket with triple captain Aguero. I bet you do. I bet you do, Toxic. And thank you for the super chat. Very, very kind of you. Dom J is here. How are you doing? Eltel FPL is here. Cadet is in. How are you doing? We should probably stop calling him Cadet now. It's Eltel FPL. He's had a bit of a rebrand. So if you used to see an FPL Cadet on Twitter, it's now Eltel FPL. So we've had a bit of a rebrand there, but I like it.
Eltel FPL.
Eltel FPL. I like that. It's got a nice ring to it, isn't it?
Yeah, but I struggle to say that. What was
Why?
that?
What, after a glass of wine?
Yeah, I struggle to say anything today. I'm so tired. Anything could happen.
Literally anything could happen. Yeah, have we even got any stats and
no,
stuff?
All I've written down is the results, and I don't really know what the point of it was.
Amazing. I literally cannot wait to start talking Spurs with you. I'm going to wind you up so bad, it's brilliant.
Should we talk about Lindelof as well?
Oh, God. How do you do it? Every week. Even the transfers you don't tell me about. Just as the Man United game's gone, I've got Lindelof this week. I knew you got Son, but I've got Lindelof. Bonus point. Did he get bonus point? Absolutely unreal, guys. Every week the transfers, Son and Lindelof in this week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Don't know how you do it, guys. I genuinely don't know how you do it. Absolutely unreal. Seb Fox is here.
I can't tell you, can I? Because you just copy me.
That's true. It's true. Seb Fox triple captained Aguero too. Very good. The man is a legend. He absolutely is for all of those captainers.
Triple captain Sané.
Yeah, goodness me. Half Pint is here. Dom J is here. Daily Cyber Demon is here. It's a new name we've not heard from before
Cyber Demon
in these live chats.
Amazing.
So Daily Cyber Demon, welcome. Thank you for joining. Darich67, I think another new name as well. So Darich, thank you for joining.
Welcome.
Oscar is here. Josh Telling, as ever, is here. Josh, how are you doing, buddy? Hannah Z is here. The other Josh Oram is here. How many points are you on, Sam? We were going to come to that a bit later on.
Oh, I'm not doing that badly.
Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. From what I've seen, pretty good.
Before the Man City game, I had a beautiful green arrow.
Yeah, it's just Aguero that's killed you, isn't it? It was looking very, very good. It's Aguero that's killed you. It's killed you. FPL Lawyer is here. Frank Notaro. Rushil is here. How are you doing, guys? Neil Crastin, Shashank, and all of you guys. Guys, thank you very much for joining. And welcome to this episode of FPL Family. We have, what was that? Was that a yawn or a hiccup?
It was a yawn, but I stifled it.
Was it a yickup?
It was a yawn, but I stifled it just in the right.
You've had a run. You've had a glass of wine. You can't yawn on your own stream. It sends out completely the wrong message to the viewers.
I know, but I really tried to stifle it really quickly, and I managed it. I am literally done. I've done like a 10k run, got home, watched one game of football, went to a kids' party, drunk some wine, put the kids to bed. I'm done.
On the back of all of that emotion from the Spurs game as well. I've never seen you Well, our daughter got thrown around the room more or less,
She
didn't
loves
she?
it, though, doesn't she? She absolutely loves it when Spurs score a goal because she asks at the end of the game. I was like, "Can't Evie, let's celebrate." She's like, "Throw me around." I have to dance with her.
Whereas I just sat there looking absolutely gutted, guys. Absolutely gutted. A goal and 3 bonus points.
Why are you not getting on him?
Oh, because you were terrible and he was terrible. Anyway, the polls for this evening, guys. Go check out the polls. A little eye in the top right-hand corner.
Oh, we've got some polls.
We've got the polls. We've got 3 questions from the FPL family community. So, guys, thank you for responding to my tweet earlier in the day. Came out a bit late in the day as well, so thank you for getting on it sharpish. FPEL... I always get this wrong, don't I? FPL Classico, I should say. FPL Classico. Thank you for sending in the question. Can Lacazette cover Aubameyang? Now, we know that now the City game's out of the way. Arsenal got some very, very nice fixtures indeed. A lot of people still on Aubameyang. I'm gutted I didn't do the hokey cokey. It was in my mind for a bit, but I don't think I ever really considered it heavily. So I'm not kicking myself too much. No, it wasn't like I was hovering over the Aubameyang to Aguero button.
Because it would have been a -4, wouldn't it?
It would have, and I didn't obviously fancy Aguero and the minutes and all the rest of it. So it wasn't anything I was seriously considering, but clearly it was something I could have done. But FPL Classico is saying, can Lacazette cover Aubameyang? So if you want into that Arsenal attack for those fixtures coming up, can Lacazette cover Aubameyang, or is Aubameyang the man to have? So that's the first question. Second question comes from Fantasian PL Ian. Thank you, Ian, for sending in the question. He says, which deadline day signing will be the best FPL asset?
Crouch.
Crouchy is one of the options for sure. Almiron, who's the new Newcastle player. Tielemans or Batshuayi, who's gone to Chelsea and also got an assist, actually.
None of them are a Crouch, are they?
Yeah, it was one of the options.
No, but none of them are as good as Peter Crouch.
Batshuayi officially not as good as Crouch, says Sam from FPL Family.
Crouch is a legend.
Crouch is a legend. You're absolutely right. So Batshuayi, Crouch, Almiron, Tielemans.
That's my robot, by the way.
Go and Hans. It's a brilliant robot. This could go any way tonight, guys, on this stream. I'm telling you, it could go any way. That is Ian's question. Fantasian PL, thank you for sending that in. And the third question is from Rushil Joshi, who I feel like we get a good question from every week. Rushil, thank you for your question.
What's he asked now?
He is saying Higuain, ? Higuain, ? Or not. So the question is, do you want to get Higuain in based on that game at Chelsea at the weekend?
Blank in 2 game weeks' time.
A blank in 2 game weeks, but the chemistry looked pretty good between him and Hazard. We're going to cover that.
Well, Hazard needs somebody, doesn't he?
In a bit more detail. Certainly Hazard looked a little bit more up for it now that he's got somebody working hard up alongside him and someone whose wavelength he appears to be on. For me, that seems like a pretty good place to start, guys. So go and check out the little eye in the top right-hand corner. Go and answer those 3 poll questions. And I'm going to turn to you, Sam, from FPL Family, and ask your opinion on the Chelsea game. Chelsea 4, Huddersfield 0 this weekend. Chemistry...
5.
Was it 5 in the end?
Yes,
it was. David Luiz, of course. Chelsea 5, Huddersfield 0. The chemistry looked instantaneous there between Higuain and Hazard. Or are we getting a little bit too carried away because it was Huddersfield? So what are your thoughts on the game?
Well, I think there's 2 thoughts, isn't there? 1, it was Huddersfield. 2, they kind of had to bounce back from the appalling midweek result against Bournemouth.
That was bad. That was bad.
So it was always likely to be a Chelsea victory this week. I think we, as FPL owners, we have to obviously stand up and take notice of a game when it's 5 because it's not like they beat Huddersfield 1-0 and then you kind of go, well, it was Huddersfield. Yeah. It was 5-0. Like that's like a thrashing. So I think we do have to take note of it. But for me, I would. One good game does not an FPL asset make.
Especially a game was away when it's home to Huddersfield, right?
Yeah. And away at Bournemouth in midweek, Higuain was anonymous, absolutely anonymous.
And they got City next, I think.
And then the blank.
And then a blank.
So for me, it's not a bandwagon that I'm looking to get on yet. Having said that, if over the games against over the next couple of games and then obviously the cup final, if we start to see Higuain and Hazard having a real connection and a real partnership, then I think that's a potential fantasy option for us. But at the moment, at 9.5, I think Higuain is too expensive with not great fixtures given that there's a blank.
Okay, and give me your views on Hazard then, because clearly 2 goals for Hazard, so nothing I think for about 5 weeks.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden pops up with 2 goals. Now a lot of people are on Twitter, he's classic Hazard, that's his trolling behaviour. Listen, you know what you're going to get with Hazard. If you invest in him, you've got to go through the bad times and the good, right?
Yeah.
And the good times that will come with him because he's that sort of player. So if people have stuck with him, if you guys out there on the live chat have stuck with him, then fair play. You kind of deserve those returns, I think. I don't know what the haul was. I assume he got 3 bonus points as well, or maybe even 2.
He got 2
because Higuain got the 3. Okay, so a nice haul for Hazard owners. Given the fixtures coming up, what do we do? Stick or twist on Hazard? What's your thoughts?
Well, I said on the FPL show I'd have twisted already on Hazard, because to be quite honest, it would frustrate me to have that much money sitting in a player that's, what was it, 5 game weeks previous that he'd done very little,
Sure.
and then obviously he's done very well in this game week. But for me, if I had, I think now's the time to part company with him, given that there's a blank. You're not going to bench that amount of money for a blank game week. He's dropped in price recently, so I don't think you stand to lose that much if you then want to get him back again. So for me, it would be a twist.
Yeah, David James Whiteway saying you can't judge Chelsea versus Huddersfield. You just can't. John Chappell, Hazard 11 million is too much for a player that you can't trust.
Agree.
With the armband. And Neil Craston is saying, well, just sell Hazard for Son now.
Yep.
Now is the right time to do Hazard to Son. Shashank is saying he's stuck with Hazard, so fair play, Shashank. Well done. If you ride the roller coaster with Hazard, good times will come, but Shashank will have had to have put up with 5 weeks of complete guff to get that points today, but they will come. They will come. Dylan is saying Hazard got 15 points. Yes, it was a nice point haul. There's no doubt about it. What else to say about that game? David Luiz is starting to really outshine Alonso, right? And I think if you haven't got rid of Alonso already, I think his time is probably up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I got rid of him this week. That was one of my transfers, was Alonso to Lindelof, on the basis that I needed the money to do Sonny, and Alonso was the one I kind of felt I could afford to lose, and I knew that I was losing him in front of a game where potentially or probably he was going to keep a clean sheet, and I also, having listened to that game on Soccer Saturday, Alonso had a lot of opportunities during that game where he could have got more than he did. However, we're not seeing those attacking returns. They will come. They're bound to come. But yeah, at the moment for me, it just felt like there were other fantasy options out there who are less expensive and are performing better. So David Luiz is one of them. I think you've also got a bracket Doherty in there. Because although he didn't keep a clean sheet this week, obviously did get an assist. Okay, all right. So plenty to ponder, I think, if you're holding your Chelsea assets. No surprise to see a lot of their players in the top BPS point scorers for Game Week 25. Looks like Aguero and Reed are the top 2, but then it's Higuain and Hazard. Then it's Sterling, then it's Luiz, Kante and Azpilicueta. So no surprise to see the Chelsea boys up there so far. Clearly that's probably is going to change with the games upcoming, given that we're going to see some more from the City assets, I guess. And the Liverpool ones. And hopefully the Liverpool ones, absolutely. But the Chelsea boys doing their owners proud this game week. Let's talk about a player that's gone from Chelsea on loan to Crystal Palace. It is a loan and not a buy, isn't it? I think he has gone on loan, Batshuayi. Yeah. So one of the questions in the poll is about Batshuayi. Crystal Palace kind of quietly going about their business. So quietly, very, very loudly at 11 p.m. decided they were going to get Batshuayi on the transfer deadline day. They've now got a front three that looks like Zaha, Batshuayi and Townsend when they're all fit and not suspended, because I think Zaha was suspended this weekend. But when those three are there and in play and fit and firing, it's going to be a very potent front three, isn't it? And I actually spoke to your dad today, a very well-known Chelsea fan. We've talked about him before, knows his stuff around Chelsea. What are you talking about now? No, he does, and he was saying about... My dad's making regular appearances on this show. He is. Well, I rely on him for my Chelsea knowledge. He's giving you some Palace knowledge. Chelsea, but it's... Well, one of the comments he made was that actually, the Batshuayi to Crystal Palace move, actually Chelsea were pretty happy to let that happen in the end. If you consider the teams that Palace have got left to play, a lot of them are Chelsea's rivals, potentially, for the top 4. So that's what he's saying, that move is a bit, not skullduggerous, but there's method in that madness. Orchestrated. There's method in that madness there from Chelsea. They've let Batshuayi go to Palace on the basis that they play all their rivals. I quite like that comment. And I suppose he's also getting Premier League football, isn't he? He's going to play Premier League football. That's good for them. Just getting Premier League. Absolutely. But as Azzy is saying in the live chat, it's a nice comment by Azzy, Batshuayi at the moment, not really an option, because you've got Rashford is on fire, Jimenez is on fire. So talk to me about Palace in general in that game against Fulham. I don't think there's much to talk about from a Fulham perspective. I mean, far too reliant on Mitrovic, don't they? It seems a bit hit it and hope it to Mitrovic right now. Babel got into some nice positions. But Palace, 2-0. I think you're expecting it. Any comments on the Palace team? Loving Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka with 6 points again. I think he was in for some
5.
bonus points at some stage, wasn't he? Got booked, didn't he? He did get booked. Yeah, absolutely. But I think Benteke coming back offered them a bit of a more direct route to goal, if you like. And I think when Batshuayi come on, kind of changed the dynamic a little bit.
More movement.
Yeah, I kind of like what Palace are doing. I like what they're building there. I think they're obviously pretty safe from relegation, and they're not going to probably necessarily damage the top 6 anywhere. So, probably one of those sides that are going to be tricky for the rest of the season with some FPL assets in their side, I think.
I'm still keeping an eye on Ryan Babel, though, at Fulham. I think if you're going to look for a Fulham asset, I'm not sure why you would, but if you're going to, for me, Ryan Babel actually does look like he could be a decent FPL asset if the rest of the Fulham team can start doing something, because he's being quite creative.
Yeah, potentially. Okay, well, let's move on from Palace and go and speak about Everton 1, Wolves 3, which frankly was I don't know if I was kind of surprised by the result, but then
Were you?
I was, because it doesn't seem that long ago that Goodison was a difficult place to be, and on that basis I actually benched Jimenez this week because I fancied Fraser over Jimenez, so I benched Jimenez, which is obviously an awful decision. Clearly if Sané doesn't play, or maybe Salah doesn't play, which is not going to happen, but I've got some players that might not play and then Jimenez might come on, but at the moment it's looking unlikely. But I benched Jimenez on the basis that actually Goodison used to be a pretty tough place to go, but they look really, really bad right now, Everton, and Wolves, for their part, look very, very good indeed. So what's your thoughts on those two? And before you give me those thoughts, I've got a super chat from FPL Tips. FPL Tips, thank you for the super chat.
Thanks,
and welcome
Harry.
to the stream. He's saying, preparing for his assessment centre on Tuesday, but cannot miss your stream.
Aww.
Well done on your run. Thank you very much, Harry. Chelsea fan here. Bye, Higuain. And then brackets, after 27.
Oh, there you go.
so
basically what we've said.
After 27, absolutely.
Watch him over those 2 games, the league game and the.
So Tips, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining us. But back to the assessment centre.
Straight after, please.
Straight back, please, Harry. Straight back. But Everton 1, Wolves 3. Give me your thoughts on the game. Is Silva in danger of losing his job here?
Well, one of the best things from an Everton point of
Hello, you want to be on the stream?
I don't know if you can see this, but here's Harry, our cat.
This is Harry, not named after Harry Kane, but
Harry,
after another
look, the
Harry.
second cat to make an FPL appearance this week.
All right, there you go. Off you go. Right, so that's the cat. Everton 1, Wolves 3, which actually he must have known what happened in that game, because I think that was the game the cat ran on.
It was.
I mean, quite appropriate.
Our cat wants to be as famous as the Everton cat.
It's quite appropriate.
Is Silva in danger of losing his job? Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure. I think they'll give him time up there. I don't think it's a mad panic. Did Everton really expect to get top 6 this season? I doubt it. They're not going to get relegated, so maybe it's a building stage.
You didn't. Everton wouldn't have been expecting to get top 6 this season.
Well, Liverpool, Man City, Spurs, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United.
Well, listen, I think they did. I think they put themselves in that bracket, and at the minute they are very, very far from that bracket.
Well, if they put themselves in their bracket, they are deluded.
I think at the beginning of the season there was a case for it.
They don't have the players to compete with those 6 big teams.
Well, I think I agree, but at the beginning of the season, I think absolutely they would have been putting themselves in that bracket. Wow. But right now, they look bad. And Richarlison, for me, I literally cannot wait to get rid of the guy. I cannot wait to get rid of him. Yellow cards for Keane, Davies and Zuma. There's just nothing to talk about from an Everton perspective. I actually don't know what their fixtures look like going forward.
Well, they've obviously got another game this game week, but it's against Man City. They're going to get absolutely smashed.
They're going to get smashed against City. Then it's away at Watford. Then a blank. Then they've got to go to Cardiff. Then home to Liverpool. I think it's abandoned ship, isn't it, from an Everton perspective?
Well, we've said, didn't we? We said on the FPL show, we've said multiple times that Everton, I mean, I don't know. I cannot fathom why you've still got Richarlison in your team.
I wasn't going to sell him before Huddersfield and then a double game week. And actually returned against Huddersfield.
I know, but I just cannot fathom it because he's gone weeks and weeks and weeks, but then I couldn't fathom the Hazard stuff, and he's been brilliant this week. So what do I know? I don't think that Everton are. I just don't think there's a good place at Everton at the moment. I don't think they know who their best team is. I don't think they know whether they should be playing Toussaint or Calvert-Lewin, or I just don't think that they have a system that's working for them yet.
I saw some stats about how bad they are from set pieces as well, and I think that game against Wolves completely highlighted that. They were awful from set pieces, and I genuinely don't know how Pickford is England's number 1. I do not know, and I'm not just saying it's maybe the red goggles are coming on, and if there's ever any Everton fans on, then I apologise, but the guy just is not commanding in his... I just don't rate him at all. So I think it's abandoned ship from an Everton perspective, but from a Wolves, it's the complete opposite, isn't it? We need to be all over them.
Well, James asked me, didn't he, when we were with them on Thursday night, about Jimenez and would it be player of the season. For me, that man is so far in front of everyone else as FPL player of the season. He is just absolute gold. The price tag on him and the way that he plays week in,
player
week
of the
out.
season.
For me, he's got to be.
That's a brave call, but it's difficult to disagree with that at the minute.
I just can't see how it can be.
Robbo and players like that might have some word to say about that.
Well, they can have a word to say about it. But I mean, before this game week, he was on the same points as Aguero. He scores or gets an assist pretty much every game. Every time Wolves do something, he's involved in it. He is absolutely brilliant. He's not going to be 6.5 next season, I tell you that
100%. 100%. And what about Jota for his part? I mean, a hat-trick a couple of game weeks ago, and people were piling in on him. An assist last game week, an assist this game week, so... Not as if he's blanking, right? But
no.
Is he worth the double up with Jimenez? And if you've got Doherty as well, then a treble Wolves feels a bit wrong, doesn't it?
Yeah. So for me, you don't go for Jota because you go for Jimenez and you go for Doherty, and that's not being disrespectful to Jota at all. I think he's a good player. I think he's playing very well. It passes the eye test for sure. Whenever I watch Wolves, I think he looks good. But yeah, for me, there's two assets you have at Wolves. You have Doherty because the man is also, quite frankly, incredible. And then there's Jimenez who, well...
He's great. I think you have to have him right now, Jimenez. I think you have to have him. I think he's absolutely sensational value.
I would quite like it if Spurs could sign him. Thanks.
Well, there we go.
That's how highly I rate him.
On that note, let's go and talk about the Spurs game then. Spurs 1, Newcastle 0, back on Saturday lunchtime. I don't even want to talk about this game. Give me your view on the Spurs performance then, and try not to be too biased.
Give a little heart to Sonny.
Try not to be too biased. Go on. What is your view on the game?
Sonny's a legend.
It's not a legend. So, guys, get in the live chat because clearly we're not going to get any sense out of Sammy. So get in the live chat.
Sense out of me, but Sonny's a legend.
Josh Oram is saying, "No son, no fun."
That's brilliant. Literally
go on then.
brilliant.
Your views on the game. Go on.
Newcastle played well. We were a bit lucky, but Son's a legend, and yeah, I was a bit disappointed not to get an extra save point out of Lloris.
My view on the game was that Spurs were lacklustre, they were not very good, they lacked imagination and completely bereft of any ideas, and Son was taking a lot of pot shots until Llorente come on. And you were a different side when Llorente come on. As soon as you put Llorente up there, and Moura, I think, got hooked, suddenly there was something to focus on. And Son, rather than being out wide and ineffective, played number 10, didn't he? He sat Son in behind Llorente. Totally different side. And actually, all right, the goal was lucky. It was so lucky. And I know a lot of people got...
Lee's not bitter about this at all.
I was massively bitter. Absolutely massively bitter.
Because
loads of people were bringing Son in, right? And actually, throughout the game, I'm sitting there's a Son non-owner thinking, well, this is easy peasy. He's getting nothing out of this game. He's going to get 3 points and nothing else because he's taking pop shots. He had shots all off target. He was looking knackered, and I know Spurs had one off the line, but I think that was Ericsson, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Moura missed an absolute sitter, didn't he? Headed
yeah,
it.
So it's difficult for me to sit and say Spurs were lucky because you probably just about deserved the win. I know Rondon hit the post with Lloris beaten, so easily Newcastle could have been a goal up. But in the end, there's no doubt the goal was completely lucky. What is Dubravka doing, guys? There's no deflection on it. There's no swerve even on it. He just takes his eye off it. It's
not
shocking.
luck. It's just skillful knowing that the keeper's rubbish and is going to flow his line.
Jesus. Absolutely awful. So Carl Vineyard is saying Heung-min Son-min is a must-have in your FPL teams.
I agree.
Hannah is saying Sonny loves scoring against Leicester. He'll be ready. He'll be ready for that game. The goal was skill, not luck. Guys, come on. Michelle Deere, Lucas Moura is a donkey.
No, I won't have that.
I'm not sure that he is. I think he just was in the wrong position.
He's in the wrong position. He was playing out of position, and if Kane was on the pitch, it would have been... Well, actually, maybe not. If Llorente was on the pitch rather than Son with Moura, Moura would have been different. However, for me, Sonny is a legend.
Michelle, Michelle has been here for long enough to know that you can't you just cannot slag off a Spurs player without getting a reaction off you. I've done it many times, and the looks I've had over the weeks and months we've been doing this, I can tell you.
And Michelle and I are friends again now, so she can say it. But,
good. Okay, good.
But I just disagree with her.
Samatar is saying Lucas Moore needs to play wide to have any impact. Yes, I like that as a comment. The sun always shines on TV. Posty 76.
And he will on Sunday. And I've got to miss it because I've got another kid's party. Can you believe it?
Frank Verlinden is saying Son is having an incredible season. He's a striker, the best of Spurs except for Kane. He's the best one in there. Yep. And Neil Crustening is saying there's a Sonny price rise tonight. Yeah, I mean,
better get on him, Lee.
Listen, look, it's very, very difficult.
Get Richarlison to Son.
Well, that's 2 million I've got to find. Very, very difficult to find that. It's very difficult for me to get Son in. And I also think that his performance at the weekend did not warrant that. And that's a very difficult thing for me to say. He got the goal, the winning goal, and 3 bonus points. So,
were you watching the same game as me?
I just think that he was frustrating, and Newcastle did a great job of frustrating him that whole game until he played number 10. If Poch keeps playing, Poch must look at that and say, I need to play Llorente, I need to play Son in number 10. It's got to happen, isn't it? It's got to happen. You were a different side when that happened.
But listen, are my sunshine.
Oh, just stop winding me up.
My only sunshine.
There's enough talk about Spurs. Anything to discuss on Newcastle? They made it hard for you, right? Made it hard for you. Newcastle are difficult to break down. A difficult team to break down. And Rondon on another day could have had a goal there because he beat the keeper. All ends up with that header that hit the post, right?
Yeah, and I was pleased because Luis got me 6 points. So thanks, Luis.
Yes, very, very good. All right, well, let's move on from Spurs. Quickly and happily move on from Spurs.
Where are we going?
What else to talk about?
United?
Let's talk about the games today then. Leicester 0, Manchester United 1. Cracking game of football, I thought. A cracking game of football. Really good. And I think Leicester are now getting a bit of a reputation for starting really slow in games. They're not getting out the traps, Leicester. And they're making silly mistakes because although that is a phenomenal pass from Pogba, and it's a phenomenal, absolutely fantastic touch from Rashford and strike. I loved seeing that from Rashford. It was brilliant. However, Leicester made that easy by giving the ball away in the wrong areas there. You can't give the ball away to Pogba. I know that Pogba didn't win it. I think it might have been Lingard. But to give it away in those sorts of areas is a bad move, a very bad move from a Leicester perspective.
Against players on form like that, you just can't give away a ball like that.
Absolutely. And I know that in the second half or throughout the game, Leicester put the pressure onto United, and actually De Gea made a number of good saves, come out with the 3 bonus points to De Gea. So that tells you everything you need to know about Leicester's performance. They potentially were a bit unlucky to not come away with something from that game. But give us your thoughts on the game. Then you watched a bit of it?
I watched... How much did I watch of it? About the first half, didn't I? And then I had to go to the party.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I was pleased with points for all of my 3 now Man United assets. I'm for the woman who never triples up, I'm trebled up on Liverpool and Man United. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Not two pretty good teams to be trebled up on, though, I would say. I mean, United, phenomenal form.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I mean, the Lindelof one was, to be honest, it was a bit of a jammy pick for a couple of weeks just to see where we are at the end of it. And I was happy with him. Clean sheet and a bonus point. Can't really be angry with him, can you?
And Rashford, for his part in the game, missed a sitter early on, actually, as you guys are saying in the live chat. Azzy is saying Rashford missed a sitter. He did. But that's a mark of the man, right? Because some players, they miss a sitter and then they kind of sulk for a bit and go out of the game. None of it. Straight back in. Beautiful touch for the goal. Beautiful finish. Love seeing that from Rashford as an England fan.
Yeah.
not as a Liverpool fan. But love seeing that as an England fan.
And from an FPL point of view, right?
And from an FPL point of view, for sure.
But it made no difference to your rank because everyone else has got
this is it. And I think I'm somebody tweeted about, is there any better feeling in the world than, when you've got the assister and the goal scorer in FPL? And I totally agree with that.
There is when you're there, your diffs.
But when they're not differentials, are they, Rashford and Pogba? I think I got something like a 7k rise when that happened. I was looking at livefpl.net. Something like 7k. And don't get me wrong, in the game week I've had, very, very happy to have a little rise off of a goal like that. But normally, if you have the assister and the goal scorer, boom, you go up sort of 10, 20k places. So it feels like they're just hygiene picks right now, Rashford and Pogba. You kind of just have to go with them, I think.
I think
you definitely can't get rid of them, put it that way.
No, and there was a lot. It was interesting this week because a lot of people were talking about Pogba out because he had that orange flag on him, and people were is he going to play? Is he not going to play? And to be honest, I was in the same camp, and I was thinking if Solskjaer comes out and says he's not going to play, then potentially I might lose him for a few weeks and then get him back in at a later date. But as soon as he said he's fit and he'll play, well, he didn't say he played, did he? But he said he's ready and he's in contention or whatever they say. It's just like you can't get rid of the man, and you can't. There's two reasons you can't get rid of him. One, because he's just on fire, and you just know that he's going to get returns in the games that he plays. But even bigger than that is the red arrows that it causes you if you don't have him.
If you don't have him now, that's a problem. Yeah,
so,
totally
because
right.
so many people have got him. He's one of those players. He's in the Salah camp. He's in the Robbo camp. There's just so many people on these players that if you don't have them, it causes your rank to just collapse.
Okay.
So
Azzy in the live chat is saying Pogba or Son. If you could pick one right now, only one, which one would you go for?
Ooh.
It's a clear winner.
Well, what do you mean there's a clear winner?
No, it's a clear winner.
Why?
Yeah, Pogba all day.
Why? The stats are the same. 7 and 7 for Sonny.
I'm just winding you up about Son because it's so easy.
I think it's very, very tight. I'd find a way to have both, to be quite honest.
Find a way
Lose your City assets because they're going to have a missed game anyway, and their fixtures aren't great going forward.
There we go. So Rashford, Pogba and Lindelof, absolutely 3 fantastic picks to have in that game. So fair play to you for picking that out. Rashford second for shots in the game week so far, tied with De Bruyne. Barnes actually from Burnley, way out top right now.
Yeah.
But Rashford and De Bruyne second on 5. So absolutely hold those two. Don't sell them. And if you want to treble up on United, it could be the way to go. FPL Chancellor Dan is in. How you doing? Dan, he's saying Pogba bossed that pitch today. Reckon he'll be a Baps magnet through to the end of the season. I'm totally with you there, Dan. He absolutely bossed it. There's no doubt. He gave Mendy the runaround in the middle there for Leicester. And actually, I thought Mendy should have been sent off. There was more than one dodgy tackle from him.
Look, while Pogba's fit, he won't be leaving my team, that's for sure.
No, absolutely. And Yenjui Wu is saying Martial not looking good. Yeah, Martial started on the bench, came on, got booked, so 0 points.
Injured or ill?
A bit of both, I think. He's kind of a bit in and out of the team. I think if I was a Martial owner, which I was up until this game week, the bigger concern is that Alexis Sanchez seemed to be seeing a bit of time now.
Which was always our worry, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think Sanchez really covered himself in glory in a game where potentially he could have done. I don't think he had a great game, really, Sanchez. He lost possession a few times, which frankly is par for the course now for Alexis Sanchez. His stats around ball dispossession are not good at all. So if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I'd be looking at that and saying, well, look, I've got a guy here, I'm paying $300,000 a week, I'm probably under a bit of pressure to play, but it's really not looking good. And Martial now coming back from injury and maybe a bit of illness, I can see him dropping Martial back in for the next game week. I can see Sanchez back on the bench.
Who they got next? Is it Chelsea?
I think it's Chelsea versus Man U next. It might be. Let's have a look. No, it's Chelsea Man City next, isn't it? Man United got Fulham away before Liverpool go to Old Trafford. So
see, I don't know. You see, that Fulham game, that's nice. Do you not think that he might just think that's prime for Sanchez to kind of stand up, be counted, do something?
Could be. I'm with Simon the Bomb there. Simon the Bomb is saying Martial will start. I think he will. I think Sanchez had his chance today and he didn't play well at all.
What did Martial look like when he came on?
Yeah, fine, right? But he came on at a time when Leicester were pushing forward and it came on about 70 minutes. So you can see what Solskjaer's doing there. You know, he wants to get Martial in behind. And actually, were it not for a better pass from, I think, Rashford, he would have been in to score, actually, Martial, on at least one occasion. So on another day, he could have had more points. But I think with Rashford and Pogba, you guaranteed starts and you're going to get some points there. I can't see that Rashford's place is under threat from Lukaku, do you? I just think, if anything, you might push Rashford out left if he wants to accommodate Lukaku.
I don't think he wants to accommodate Lukaku.
I don't think he's that bothered about accommodating Lukaku. And from what I'm seeing on Manchester United Twitter, there is absolutely no call for Lukaku to get back into that side. I really don't. So here we go. Manchester City 3, Arsenal 1 then. Obviously, we've just come off the back of watching this. 2 assists for Sterling, 3 goals for Aguero, and 3 bonus points for him too. So clearly, if you bought the ticket, well done. If you've got Aguero, either captain or indeed triple captain, absolutely fair play. So anything else to say about that game? Anything to say about Arsenal?
Well, as predicted, I think no clean sheets for either side.
Yeah, I don't think either of us were kind of calling that, were we?
No, and we said, that was one of my major concerns about getting a Man City defender in, is that I just didn't see 2 sets of clean sheets. Now, Everton, there's a good chance that Man City may keep a clean sheet against Everton. But if you bought a ticket for Laporte, then that's not gone badly because, got an assist today.
Actually, a goal ruled out for offside just after the assist, which was... It was offside, but it was real borderline. Borderline. So he could have had a points haul today, Laporte.
Oh, actually, we should have said that Hazard, when we were talking about Chelsea, one of those penalties wasn't even a blooming penalty. But there you go.
Some suspicious
outside the
decisions, wasn't there? I mean, the Hazard penalty for sure, though it's not impacting the outcome of the game. And even
from an FPL point of view.
Yeah, but even the third Aguero goal was more than a hint of handball there, wasn't there? In that third Aguero goal.
I didn't see it, did I? I was out.
Yeah, more than a hint of a handball. And I think that was the same ref that didn't give Liverpool the penalty in Keita last week.
Oh, you're not bitter, are you?
Just saying.
Okay.
But Arsenal in that game, Lacazette, Aubameyang, largely anonymous, I think, in that game. But right. I could see the formation. I see the personnel that Unai Emery put out for that game. I think he'd put a team out to frustrate City a little bit. He benched Ramsey, he's benched Ozil, he's benched one of the other creative players, the new guy, Denis Suarez. All right, Guendouzi was perhaps. I thought Guendouzi had quite a good game. Torreira was good, as ever. I like Torreira, very good player. Got booked, but I think that's part of his game, Torreira, right? You can't blame him for that. He's that sort of player. So I felt like Emery set Arsenal up to try and frustrate them. Well, within 60 seconds, they were a goal down. So that game plan went completely out the window. And fair play to them for getting back into it with the header, just showing City's vulnerabilities from set pieces again, potentially. But from then on, it was the Aguero show, and it was fairly straightforward for City in the end. But Aubameyang, Lacazette, if you were going to put any chips on either one of those two for the fixtures going forward, who would you go for?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't go for either?
Would I put a chip on them? As in, would I triple captain?
Sorry, not a chip. That was a wrong term of phrase. I meant, so if you were, if you're putting some bets, placing some bets on one of those two.
I've said this a couple of times now, but I still prefer Lacazette over Aubameyang. I feel like Lacazette doesn't get the same number of minutes as Aubameyang, so he doesn't have the same kind of goal opportunity, if you like.
Yeah.
But he is more... He does more with the opportunities that he gets. And for the price tag difference, I think I'd rather have Lacazette. The difficulty for me with Arsenal, and it's very hard to judge them on a game against Man City, because realistically, we all expected Man City to bounce back in that game from the defeat against Newcastle. But I feel like Arsenal have got so many problems in that team, particularly defensively at the moment with their injuries and everything else, that has got to have an impact on the rest of the team, because the whole system is changing and altering all the time, because people are injured and people are out, and it's hard then, isn't it, to get a consistent flow up through the team to those strikers. So,
well, listen, the fixtures next coming up are Huddersfield, Southampton, Bournemouth. I mean, it's not going to get any better than that.
No.
They're away at Spurs in 29 and then home to Man United in 30, so it does get a bit more red after those three. But Huddersfield, Southampton, Bournemouth feels like you would want a bit of Arsenal in your team for that, I think. So I'll absolutely be sticking with Aubameyang for those three. I still think he's the one to have. He's on penalties as well, and I know that he didn't get anything today, but I didn't feel like Arsenal and Emery were kind of set up to really go for that game today. I felt like they wanted to kind of draw City in and maybe hit them with something on the break. I don't know. So I'm happy to stick with Aubameyang, but I can certainly see a case for Lacazette. And Lacazette and the best part of 2 or 3 million, right? So it does make a difference.
But I mean, with those fixtures, I can totally see the need for an Arsenal player. It's just, if you don't go for Lacazette or Aubameyang because your forward spots are taken, I find it really hard to pick an Arsenal player out of the rest of them.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because we've seen so many games this year where Arsenal are a bit maybe slow to start in the first half, trying to figure out the opponent, and then he makes a switch in the second half, and they come alive in the second half, and they win games. Today was the complete opposite. I thought they kind of hung on in there until the 44th minute when City got the second goal. Almost like that knocked the stuffing out of them a little bit. They came out in the second half. They were bad in the second half, Arsenal. They had no shots on goal, no shots on target. In a half where I think City had something like, I saw the stat on Sky, something like 8 shots on target. So didn't really do it for me second half Arsenal. So they need to buck their ideas up before that next game. Let's go back to Saturday. Anything else you want to talk about on those fixtures on Saturday?
Foster doing you proud at Watford? We've got to give him 42 seconds, so why not fill it with Foster? Because I don't think there was anything else to talk about.
Very much so, and I saw a great tweet actually from the Watford official Twitter handle that said, who's the man of the match for our game against Brighton? Was it Ben Foster's left hand, Ben Foster's right hand, Ben Foster's left foot or Ben Foster's right foot. So clearly they know who the man of the match was. And Ben Foster played very, very well in that game. There's no doubt about it. Brighton looked fine, but there's nothing on either side that's making me think I really want to get on big time anybody in either of those sides. No?
I think...
Except Ben Foster.
I just love the fact that every Saturday, because Watford always seem to play on a Saturday, you sit there and it gets to like 80 minutes and you're like, it's that time.
Yeah. I always seem to be waiting for a Ben Foster clean sheet.
Yeah, you do.
And to be honest, without the Ben Foster clean sheet, I'm not having a very good game week.
Because he got your bonus points, didn't he?
He got another 8, Ben Foster. Absolutely fantastic. And Joe Finley-Baddo is in. Joe, how you doing, buddy? 0 shots on target for us, he says. Well, there we go.
And Joe went all the way to Brighton.
There we go, all the way down to Brighton.
That's not far on the train for us, is it?
Last one to talk about, a very, very quick talk about Burnley versus Southampton. Burnley nicking the points.
Danny
in the
Ings
94th minute.
Yet again.
Oh, poor old Danny Ings. He cannot catch a break, can he, Danny Ings? It's just such a shame because I do like him. I don't know, he was decent enough when he was fit playing for us. I like the way he plays in between the lines, but he just can't stay fit. It's such a shame for him. Apart from, is this the run kicking in? Or is it just Burnley versus Southampton? You're like, cannot talk about that.
It was Watford that did it.
It's not Watford.
We started talking about Watford, I've lost it.
We went over to 43 seconds, you were just like, oh my God, Watford.
I think it was nearly a minute, and to be honest, it's nearly killed me off.
A minute of Watford is enough to kill anybody off. Sorry,
I've got to go and watch him again in a couple of weeks. Watford again.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm looking forward to that. So Burnley 1, Southampton 1. Nathan Redmond, a good option going forward.
And Bednarek.
Oh, don't talk to me about Bednarek. 3rd sub for me, Bednarek, this game week. 3rd sub.
At least he lost his clean sheet, right?
He was one of those where he was always going to be 3rd sub, so I didn't, I can't kick myself. I can't be too upset about that, right? But Heaton continues to look good for Burnley. Barnes, I think, with the goal. Was it Barnes?
Yeah, I said he
Barnes with the goals. And also missed a couple of decent chances as well. So Barnes, a reasonable option up there. But
it's hard to get Barnes in because of Jimenez and Rashford. It's very hard to get Barnes, but I do think he's a good option as a differential if you're chasing.
And James Ward-Prowse was a player you talked about on the FPL show. Any thoughts on him? I think he had an all right game, didn't he?
In fact, those players that I picked out on the FPL show, James Ward-Prowse, Barnes, Son, Jimenez.
There you go.
What an absolute legend I am.
That is why they invite you on the show. I'm not sure why you're too worried about James Ward-Prowse. Did he get any points, James Ward-Prowse?
Well, no, but he didn't actually do anything in this game, but he did play well.
Yeah, he's starting to look like a decent option for me.
He's
5.0, right? So you're not going to score every week, but for someone who's playing in a team that's reasonably attacking, probably should have picked up the points away at Burnley. Let's face it, Burnley at the minute, since Heaton's been back and they've ditched Hart, actually a tough place to go. It's a tough place to go, that now, Turf Moor, over the last few weeks all of a sudden. So I think Southampton could have nicked the points.
And I think James Ward-Prowse is definitely up there as fifth midfielder territory for sure.
100%, yeah, 100%. And you guys are saying quite rightly that Sam's picks are always the best. #legend. Hannah is saying. John Chappell quite rightly saying Sam bigged up Aguero as well. I got a few tweets to say thank you to you because I think you called him something like a comfort blanket in a double game week.
I did, yeah.
And people were just like, oh, that made me triple captain Aguero. Thank you, Sam. So
sometimes I am quite nice, aren't I?
Never mind sometimes quite nice. I would say all of the time you're quite nice because, again, a very, very good game week from you, which we're going to look at right now. If my Mac doesn't crash, hold on.
Yeah, well, it was a good game week. I had a beautiful, beautiful green arrow, and then Aguero happened, and it's gone red.
Yeah. So 52 points. We're going to talk about my team in a minute.
Lots to come,
very,
though.
very briefly. But let's talk about yours.
3 Liverpools to come.
Okay. And a pretty good game week, right?
What I love about that is they've all done something, apart from Sané, obviously, but that's Pep's fault, not Sané's. But the rest of them.
All returns, right?
Luis,
You can't really complain with that, can you?
Wan-Bissaka, Son, Pogba, Rashford.
Everyone's got something.
Everybody has returned.
Even Doherty on the
apologies for Doherty again. I know I should learn, but I just couldn't see I couldn't see who I would drop in my defence or in my midfield. So I feel like I'm in quite good position. I think I can't see past a Liverpool victory against West Ham on Monday evening. So
I think that's a great week. It's just the Aguero thing, and the thing with with Aguero is that there will be loads of teams, dead teams in the bottom echelons of FPL that have got Aguero, right?
Yeah,
and it's that was a bit of a rank killer this afternoon. Clearly, there are plenty of people in the live teams that have got him and captained him.
Yeah.
But there will be tons of teams that just sit in there doing absolutely nothing week to week, but have got Aguero.
I mean,
So that's why it's a bit of a rank killer.
It's a hard one to take because I got a Man City player. I kind of feel like if I hadn't have got a Man City player, a bit like when I had that terrible game week back in, what was it, game week 19, I think. No, that was your bad game week. What game week was mine? I don't know what game week it was now. But when I had that bad game week, I knew it was coming because I knew that I didn't have any City players and it was an easy game and all of that kind of stuff. But it's harder to take this time because I knew I needed a City player. I got on Sané on the basis that I felt like he was the most likely to play because he's not played as much as the others lately. And then Pep just decided to do me absolutely over.
Yeah.
But,
I wonder whether there's something in... Because we said at the top of the stream, a lot of people have got Sané captain, maybe Aguero vice. Do you think it's as easy as Sané walks straight back into that team Everton away? Or is there something there that Pep's seen? Because he had a really bad game against Newcastle, Sané. There's no doubt about it. And sometimes with Pep, you just wonder whether he likes to just make a point.
Yeah, but don't you think he's made it now? I think given
possibly, but without him, they played really well today.
They did, but given that they've got another game midweek, then they've got a big game at the weekend versus Chelsea, then they've got a big game in the League Cup final.
Yeah, sure.
I just think they've got a lot of big games coming up, and why would you risk? You've got a huge squad with huge potential sat on your bench with Jesus and Sané and all of those guys. Why would you risk it? For me, the fact that Sané's not played any minutes today means he's guaranteed. What? Why are you laughing?
No, Russia was saying. Russia was saying Sam is so good at FPL she doesn't even remember the last time she had a bad game week. Absolutely,
I do wish it was game week 24, my last real.
Absolutely,
but I'm thinking back to the stink of a game week where Man City lost 6-1 against Southampton. I might have been 13. I can't
So talk us through your overall rank, etc. So game week, I think these are updated. Game week rank is 2.4. So
no, that's not up to date.
It's not up to date.
No, that's where I was at the end of the day yesterday.
You give it a refresh. And
I think I'm at like 13 now.
About 13. Okay, so still very, very good.
Is it?
Yeah. Yes.
It feels horrendous. But I think Sané will play on Tuesday. Is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday? I think it's Tuesday. I think Sané will play on Tuesday. My Liverpool assets tomorrow. Firmino, my boy, you need to do me proud.
Absolutely. Still plenty to go in this game week. Here's my tale of the tape for the week. It's really not very good, guys. It's 38. 4.1 million game week rank. That overall rank, I'm pretty sure, is not up to date. I think I'm more like 160. So that's a 60k red arrow, which is pretty shocking. Jimenez on the bench stings. That is the one decision that I regret. Obviously, him over Fraser over Jimenez was a bad decision. There's no doubt about it. A bad decision. The Sané captain, it is what it is, right? We're all sitting here thinking we've got to buy a ticket. Well, that's the ticket I bought, and I've got to stick with it, right? And he could have a stormer against Everton. You just never know, do you?
And the thing is, I don't regret getting Sané. Like, I don't. All the research and stuff I did, I don't regret that decision to buy Sané. It's annoying, but I can't regret it.
Yeah, sure. And I think, I looked at my team for next week and how it's set up, and I'm pretty happy with it. No Aguero, so, that the City route, and no Sterling either, so no points from any of that. Rashford and Pogba, clearly I'm happy with, but they're just hygiene picks, right? Everyone's got them. Richarlison is dead to me, frankly. I mean, even if he scores a hat-trick against City, I'm still getting rid of him. And Aubameyang was one of those where, could have done the hokey-cokey, but didn't, because I like the fixtures going forward. So, apart from the Jimenez and Fraser thing, which, was a decision that I got wrong, no doubt about it, the rest is kind of like, well, just it is what it is. Foster 8 points has saved my game week. I mean, without that, I'm on 30, and it's an absolute disaster, isn't it? But as it is, it's kind of... It's bad, but it's not...
I kind of feel like...
It's not jumping off a cliff territory.
The learning point for the both of us is never ever bench your Wolves assets.
Don't bench Wolves. That is the lesson.
I think that's what we've got to learn. Because I benched Doherty, and that's not gone well, and you've benched Jimenez, and that's not gone well. So don't bench them.
Never bench them. There we go. So one of the things we want to look at, guys, so there's our game weeks.
It is on Wednesday, they're saying. Yeah, it makes sense because it's Sunday today, isn't it?
Sure.
Play Tuesday,
sure. So pretty crap for me. Pretty okay-ish for you so far.
I think it's fine. I just feel a bit about it. But let's go for a Liverpool victory tomorrow and all will be well with the world.
Absolutely. There we go. That's what I like to hear. Despite me slagging off Spurs earlier, you're supporting the red cause, which is very, very nice of you.
I bought you tickets to go and see them as well for Christmas.
Yes, I know.
I'm nothing but lovely to you, and you sit here and slag off my boys. I mean, what is this? What is this?
Very much looking forward to that game. When is it? End of February, isn't it? Liverpool versus Watford.
Yeah, I've got to sit through Watford again. Hope they're going to have more than...
You're not going to yawn and fall asleep, are you?
Well, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, if they're going to have no shots on target again, then let's hope all the action happens in the Liverpool end near us.
Well, there it is. Well, look, so one of the things that started as well this game week, as you guys all know that are Patreons for FPL Family, is the FPL Family Manager of the Month for February. So let's have a look at who is making the early running in that league. Now,
That's
again,
not up to date.
They're not up to date. They're being very slack, FPL, with these today, probably because there's loads more to come. But Joel Dixon with 76 points has definitely got to be up there. So Joel, very well done indeed.
No Aguero though. Look for an Aguero.
Hazard captain is very good indeed. But I think I'm with you. I've got a feeling that somebody down here is going to have Aguero. 73.
No Aguero.
73 for Jack Marion. Very good. There's got to be an Aguero owner in here somewhere. Another Hoops. 66.
No Aguero in that. It's not high enough.
Got to be, isn't there? Got to be. Dylan?
There you go.
There we go.
No.
Sterling captain. Very good. Sterling and Hazard and Nathan Redmond. Great shouts. Great shouts from Dylan. So it looks like Dylan Nadeau has taken an early lead in the FPL Family Manager of the Month for February. Let's just have a look at Nathan as well. 63. Very good, Nathan. And while we're here, let's have a look at Josh, because I know Josh is on. 59. Very good.
Yeah,
very
but Josh
good
is in the Sané Pep hating club. So
he's in the Sané Solkers club. So there we go, guys. It looks as if, and we'll do obviously we'll be doing a regular update via Twitter as well as Patreon for this league. Looks as if Dylan Nadeau has taken an early lead in the February Manager of the Month.
By the time we stream on Thursday, obviously the game week will be finished and it will be live, won't it? It'll be up to date. That league, so we can do a proper review.
We'll give a proper update on Thursday. I think that's a very good idea. A very good idea. But thank you to everybody that's taking part in Manager of the Month. Thank you to all of our patrons. We've got something like 50 odd people in this league. 50 people. So to get 50 people supporting us in just a month is really, really great news. Now, guys, if you want to head over to patreon.com/FPL Family and continue to support us, and if you're new to Patreon and want to support us, you can do that. You can, of course, join the league, but you're going to be now a week behind everybody. It's going to be very hard to win that league. So my advice to you would be, if you want us to come and support us on Patreon, you want to take part in the Manager of the Month for March, would be in a few weeks' time from now, check us out on Patreon.
Yeah, and I don't know, we haven't discussed this yet, but we need to decide what the prize will be. Are we going to let the patrons decide what they want?
Yes, so we've got loads to discuss over on Patreon, including what the prize is going to be for March, of course.
So if you want to be part of that conversation, it's worth joining.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're also doing, as you guys that are patrons will know, we're doing a regular Friday Thoughts podcast, our Ohana podcast, where you get a bit of a feel about the weekend from either Sam or I on a quick 10-minute podcast.
Or both. It was both of us.
It was both of us actually this week. So if you guys are interested to hear even more from FPL Family in terms of podcasts, then head over to FPL Family. I was going to say FPLFamily.com. We should probably buy that, shouldn't we? We should probably get that domain.
Do we not own that?
I think I do own it. Yeah, I have bought it. I've done nothing with it, but I have bought it. It cost me like £1 for a year.
£1?
Yeah, you can buy domain names for nothing, right? It's what you do with it that counts.
Well, what are we doing with it?
Nothing at the moment. That's the point. So anyway, head over to patreon.com/FPL Family and go check us out over there. Right, we've just got to do the polls, and then I think we're done, aren't we? Let's have a look at these polls. Let's see. You can answer these tonight.
Yeah,
Sam from FPL Family.
We can't do any wooden spoons or anything because the league's just not done.
We're going to have to do league updates on Thursday, aren't we?
We are, yeah.
That's probably the right thing to do. Let's have a look at these polls. Can Lacazette, Sam, cover Aubameyang? Yes or no? Now, I know that you're not keen on either. I understand that. But can he cover him?
Yeah.
You think he can? Only 18% of the guys are saying yes. There's 81% of them saying no. Aubameyang is the one to have. Best deadline day signing, Crouchy, Batshuayi, Almiron, Tielemans or Lazar Markovic?
Every ounce of me wants to say Crouch, but I'm going to say Batman.
Batshuayi. 59%. The guys agree with you. 59% Batshuayi. 21% Crouch. He does come second.
The only reason I don't say Crouch is I don't think he's going to play. He's going to be a cameo, isn't he?
I get that feeling. They're not going to be a regular starter, is he?
I wouldn't have
thought. So it's Batshuayi 59, Crouchy 21, Tielemans in at 10%, Almiron at 6, and two people, bless you, have gone for Lazar Markovic, who, frankly, I'm glad to see the back of out of my club. It's absolutely awful. Higuain, yes, not yet, or no?
Not yet.
Not
the
yet.
fixtures, not yet.
Not yet. So 70% agree with you. 15% are saying yes. 15% have already seen that chemistry.
Before Man City in a blank?
Hey, listen.
Wow.
They've already seen that chemistry between him and Hazard. So they're saying 15% yes, 13% no, and 70% saying not yet, hold your horses. So I think that's an overwhelming win for not yet, which I think is testament to the blank, the City fixture, etc., etc. But I must admit, I know it was Huddersfield at home, but I was mightily impressed. Mightily impressed. The player that Chelsea need to sort out is Jorginho, don't they? Goodness me, pass it sideways too. He's a bit found out, I think, Jorginho. But listen, that is for another day, guys. That is for another day. There's our Twitter on the left-hand side. If you're not following us on Twitter already, at FPL Family, there we are. And we're also at FPL Family on Instagram, if you want to follow Sam over there.
And Facebook.
You took an intake of breath there as if to say, I want to say something.
No, I just suddenly remembered that I haven't posted on Facebook this weekend. So
both the people on Facebook will be devastated about
there's
that.
over 100 people on Facebook.
There's not.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
There's 100. Last time what do you mean, shut up?
There's nothing on there.
The last time I checked, there was 102 people on Facebook.
What is on there? Just a link to our Twitter and YouTube?
No, I did post on there on Thursday after the FPL show. Might have been Friday morning.
Is it just a massive Hyun-Min Son loving page? It's just a Son appreciation
it should be,
page.
shouldn't it? In fact, I'm going to go on there after the stream and do a I Love Sonny post.
Oh, Jesus. Azzy is saying, remember, Captain Harry the Cat and Son is a legend, Lee. There we go. On that note, I think it's time to say goodbye. Guys, follow us at FPL Family on Twitter, Instagram, and indeed on Facebook if you're one of the 100 people that are loving I can't believe it, the 100 people that are loving Facebook. Leave us a like before you go. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Go check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/FPL Family. All the links to everything you need are in the description below. Well done so far in Game Week 25. Good luck to you Salah captainers. There's a few of those out there. Good luck to you Sané captainers if you've got him potentially for the Everton game in midweek. Good luck to you Digne owners. If you've held on to Digne, who knows? He might get something against Man City.
Nobody's played Digne.
Nobody's got Digne. Nobody's got Digne. Guys, thank you. Good night. See you next Thursday when we'll be doing our preview for Game Week 26.
Woohoo!
And we'll be doing a full Game Week, double Game Week 25 update when all the leagues will be updated, everything, etc., etc., etc. So until then, see you Thursday. Cheers, guys.
Night, guys. Green arrows.